Alrighty, we are live and recording, even though those little elf waves or something tried to. That was interesting. I'm not real adept with this, but it did something very strange. I think that'd be interesting to have some kind of paranormal device that could judge what happens when I get behind the computer. Seriously, because it just did these really big things where I don't know what they were, but we're live and recording. Welcome everybody here in person, and welcome everybody here and out there in Spirit Land. And it's a wonderful, beautiful time to be alive if you let go of attachment. If you're attached in a negative or positive way, you're probably experiencing lots of suffering. The lessons continue and continue and continue, and we're having all the highs. And I know you can all identify some of the most amazing highs that you probably had in a long time, and some of the most amazing lows. Once again, we're healing the illusion of left brain, right brain, this is good, this is bad. This is because we are actualizing unconditional love, we are actualizing present time. So when we're in present time, all dimensions, all things, there is no past, present, future, it's just now. It's not the Twilight Zone, even though there might be some moments you feel like you're in the Twilight Zone. It's just a manifestation. And with this harvest moon, this beautiful harvest moon as we're coming into the fall equinox, you're harvesting what you planted. So you want to look at what is manifesting and look at it and try to stay centered. That's one of the hardest parts, because everything you're seeing around you is a manifestation of all kinds of thought forms, seeds you've planted. As we've talked about before, thoughts are things, mind is the builder. Things you've done for eons, things you've been sending out to the universe for a long time are now here. What's the key is for you to stay centered within your own being. Keep a compassionate, open heart for yourself, for others, and that's one of the hardest things, because you're going to keep having things come up that push your buttons, but don't be afraid. When the things come up that will push your buttons about yourself, about other people, express it. You don't want to get sick. You don't want to keep it buried in your body. Because if you keep it buried in your body, the last stop is the body, and that's how disease, that's what dis-ease is, that's what death is. So if you find yourself ranting and raving, don't judge yourself. Now, you don't want to harass people, but it's good to get it out. And a lot of people, we've been trained to push things down, to deny what we're feeling, deny what we're seeing, deny what's happening over and over again. It's not a time for you to be silent, but don't get hung up on the anger and the rage. Feel it, move it, let it go. Then you'll break through to other things, because how the dark forces work their best is to get people distracted. If you keep your eye on the ball, but again, you want to keep your eye focused, but not like a horse with blinders on, okay? This is part of what's happening to all of us right now. The peripheral vision is opening up. And as the peripheral vision is opening up, it can be a little scary, because we've all been trained to, in many ways, focus on certain things but to duck and hide, not want to really see what's going on. And as you're ascending into higher and higher ways of perceiving things, higher ways that have always been there, but what's happened is your mechanisms are gone. Whatever we've all used to not hear the truth, not feel the truth, not be in our own empowerment, all those things are gone. The rose-colored glasses got smashed a couple of years ago. The light is on in your house, in your body temple. The light is on in everything around you. the peripheral vision is opened up. And just like when horses or mules were trained to ascend, they got them to do that by putting the blinders on the side, because so they wouldn't get freaked out and go, ooh, look how high we are, this isn't good. We are all in a very heightened state that's always been there, but we, through many different mechanisms, brought into 3D reality as being that's all there was. The matrix, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You've never really been there. You've been mind controlled, you've been programmed, you've been through many different ways to perceive things in a certain way. The truth is, you are beautiful spiritual beings of light. You were given the most wonderful gift of free will, co-creation. And one of the best ways we've been robbed of co-creative abilities and free will is through fear. And if you'll check in your own lives, now there's a healthy fear. There's a healthy fear. If you get a gut feeling that something is wrong, and all of a sudden there's a dangerous person or situation or something, there's a fear, there's a primal fear that you want to be in touch with. I'm talking about the fear that makes you paranoid, that makes you constantly closed down, that makes you look over your shoulder, that makes you not do certain things. And as you all know, it's like we're in a big lesson right now about facing fear. So a lot of what your fears have been, how do you heal the fears you've been thrown into them? So you've probably found many situations that your lower mind would not have consciously wanted to be put in, that you're in it. So the more you, when that kind of fear comes up and you push through it, you're going to feel, wow, that wasn't so bad. There's some things that I can't talk about right now recently, good things that I had to challenge myself to do, but once I did them, I felt this amazing empowerment. It was just overwhelming. You know, down to, I mean, it's so interesting. Some of the most overwhelming things are the tiniest little things in the road. And if we get hung up on the tiniest little things in the road, we get stuck, we trip, we fall, we don't keep moving on. Push through your anger, push through your fear, push through whatever emotion, whatever strong reaction you're going through. This is the key. Get out of a reactive place with it. When it engages you, you're trapped. And I'm even talking about positive attachment. And I'm not saying that we all have felt being in love, and it's time to be in love in an unconditional way with yourself, with others, with the universe, with all of creation. So you may find some things happening where you meet people or you meet things and you think, oh, this is really good. It's fine, but don't get attached in a way that then goes, oh, somebody else is talking to that person or something else is happening here. Because all attachment, positive or negative, will keep you down. So the big key is reaction. Why? That's what karma is. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's all karma is. It's a basic spiritual law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Or when you skip a rock on the water, it ripples out. So everything that we think, feel, say, and do goes out in a frequency. There's not a little angel or Santa's owl sitting up in heaven going, Jane was bad today. Or Jane was good today. You are a living vibratory energy. You yourself, we are part of the Akashic Record, the Lamb's Book of Life, whatever different religions, spiritual beliefs call it. What we think, feel, say, and do. Yeah. Are you allergic? I'm so sorry. Well, she's trying to fool you. Oh Oh my God, that's funny. Oh, little girlie. See, she's trying to do the homeopathic thing. I think she's giving you like she's going, okay, we'll heal you up here. I love it. The hair of the dog would bite you. That's what homeopathy's all about, right? You're allergic. No problem. Takes all the people. She goes right to the person. Okay. It is true though, and that's really what. And this is the thing about that. When that happens, instead of thinking I'm allergic or oh crap, or you did good. I think you come on up and embrace it, right? And let it move. I'll tell you why. Because in the traditional literature about different types of allergies, with cats, there's a lot of Louise Hay, different people talk about this, that it's people that are hard on themselves, people that have trouble receiving unconditional love for themselves.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. And it's very real. Certain allergies are very, very real because it all has to do, it's a lot of things. So we'll just send, let's get rid of that fear and that block and let it go. So she's like a beeline. She's like embracing you. That's a good thing. So this reaction is where we get caught. We'll have a pleasant thing that happens, and the brain goes, "I want to have that happen again." Or we'll have a negative thing, and because it might be familiar or it engages us, we keep staying in the negative thing. So the big key is feel it, think it, feel it in all different levels, but move through it. Don't let it pull you off your path. That's the important thing. Because I know you can all identify with this. We've all been bombarded. I mean, I feel like I've been in a air raid or something. I mean, it's like the higher and higher I'm going into really cool stuff, I just feel like here comes another bomb. Here comes another something. And we're all going through it. Trust me, we're all going through the same journeys. Now, how are our journeys different? We all have subjective reality. We all have that. But because we're all in present time, our journey together is going to be more apparent. The most interesting thing is people are coming in here and they're saying, I'm telling them things, and they really think they're the only person going through all this right now. And as all of you can attest, we're all in this big journey right now. Yeah, not alone. People are facing major, life-altering situation potentials. And I'm going to use the word potential because if you don't like some of the stuff you see coming at you, heal whatever it is that you help to manifest what's coming at you. Get it within, and you won't have to get trapped with it. It's that simple. If you keep dreading, avoiding, thinking the worst, you will keep that manifested in front of you, and you'll be robbed of your joy. You'll be living a nightmare. There's no reason to live a nightmare anymore. We have to, this awakening that's occurring, it's not for you to awaken into a life that is negative. It's about healing, going back to the source of where you went off your divine blueprint, where you went off of that point of being centered. When you go back to point of origin on anything, you can let things go. You can heal things. So whatever you're facing, and so many people, I know, all of us, are at bottom line issues. So many people. And the thing is, there's a lot of illusion. You want to let go of your illusion about what these things are. What happens, as we all know, our mind will always make something better or worse than the reality. When we're thinking of something that's going to happen, or we have a fear, or even something wonderful, we'll put a lot of energy and we'll think, we've all had that where you think, oh my God, it's going to be the greatest thing, and then it's not. But other lessons happen, or you think this is going to be horrible, and then when you're there, a big surprise, it turns out to be wonderful. So it's that same thing. The mind, the lower mind, the reptilian brain that wants to do the fear, the wants to do the fight or flight, that's not going to be operating for you so much. You're going to be going in higher, higher, higher into the third eye, into the higher consciousness, not trapped in that reptilian brain stem, of that left brain, right brain fight, that goes on, that struggle that goes on. I want you to be aware also, really do a lot of cleansing, conscious cleansing. And when you are bathing, when you're bathing, either in the shower or the bath, however you cleanse, visualize, feel and know how big of an energy field that you have. You are huge beings of light. Your energy field goes out 30, 40 feet. Be aware of shaking off the junk. Because as you're going through your transformation, it's not a chemical process. So as we're going through this transmutation and the dross is burning off, it's a real thing. I've had experiences recently, probably for the last year, where I almost feel like I'm like Ghostbusters slimed. You'll be with certain people or situations, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, I know what this was, but I want it off of me. Get it off of you. Or take a minute if you're in a situation and you start to feel really drained by a person or situation, disengage. Get up, take a breath of fresh air, go out. You don't have to stay hooked in with psychic vampires. And that's a tricky one because we're so used to it. And they have tentacles and they have ways of knowing how to seduce and engage. But as you disconnect, you'll sense it before they actually hook into your vibration. So what's happening is people are really angry right now. Lots of really nice people that I know. And it's because we've all been too nice for long. We were trained to be so nice and so we didn't deal with, now we're very aware of the unnice things and people that, in situations that, feel that, but don't stay angry. But definitely stand up for yourself. Feel what's going on. But I'm telling you about this one thing. I've had several situations, oh my gosh, in the last few months, where all of a sudden Spirit said, get up. And I excuse myself, take a breath of fresh air, do whatever, come back, and that hook's not there. In that moment of feeling drained or feeling like, icky, you can redirect it. And again, we've been programmed not to take charge of our lives. We've been programmed to, it's like we watch a movie. And we are watching a movie right now, right? There's a lot of something going on over there. What was it?
Something's moving.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of, lots of energy over there. So when the moment you feel different, the moment you feel something familiar, but it's not a good familiar, go, what is that? Don't stay engaged in it. That's the tricky part. Or if you get pulled in, figure out very quickly without shutting your heart down, okay, what is this? How do I pull the cord out? How do I cut the cord? How do I not keep this connection that's negative? And it's a big learning thing for all of us because it's really tricky stuff. It can come in many, many guises and forms. But you want to know you are free. I talked about this for the last few months. We're all like birds in a cage and the door's open, but we don't really get it yet, that the door's open. We are moving. Some people have moved out of the cage. Some people keep flying kind of back in. It's safer here because I know this is familiar. But you're going to start to fly farther and farther away from the illusion of safety, because as we all know, there's a lot of gilded cages. There's a lot of tender traps. There's a lot of ways that we have kept ourselves for such a wide range of reasons, for whatever reasons. It's just like when people that have been in jail get out and they don't know what to do, so they put themselves back, they'll do something petty to get themselves put back in jail. Or people that have been raised without certain structure will join the military. They want that authoritarian energy saying when you go to bed, when you get up, what you wear, what you do, that kind of thing. We all have some of that programmed into us. So again, how do we change that? Big key. Everything in the outer world, every archetype that you are looking for in the outer world, you have that program, if we want to look at it in modern terms. You have that program already downloaded in yourself. So again, when I talk about the ancient term of Tantra, it's not a sexual thing, it's about union. It's about every person within their own being has the ability to be all of the archetypes, to be your own father, mother, brother, sister, lover, savior, whatever archetype you're looking for out there, you have that from within. And that's one of the hardest parts for all of us, because we still all want somebody else to fill that role. We want that person. I can't tell you how many times in the last year people have come in and I've looked at them, I go, you might as well just get a stand-up cardboard of and it could be a male or female, whether it's a man or woman coming to see me. And that's all you think you really need of a relationship. You don't really need a relationship. You just want this outward form of a person and what it represents and you're not really engaged with this person. And it's like taking the training wheels off your bike, right? It's like when you're a little kid. I had mine on for a really long time. Well, I couldn't tie my own shoes for you. I don't know. I had this level. I didn't come down here very much. I mean, I like I said, I can remember my birth and where I was before. So when I came here, I kind of stayed different other places. But you know all those steps as your little child when you can do more things, when you can all of a sudden take the training wheels off and you're just flying. And then Spirit always gives me this beautiful image of, then pretty soon you don't need a bicycle. You're just free. You're just free. Go through the steps. Keep discarding. Keep letting go of the dross. Keep letting go of the armoring. We've all been taught to armor ourselves. We've all been taught through different ways to not deal with the things we're talking about here. Your true armor is when different scriptures talk about putting on the whole armor of God. It's not talking about shutting down. It's talking about feeling the safety and the unconditional love and the light in every cell of your body flowing. That's your armor. That's when you become filled with light. That's your armor. It's not a hardening of the heart. It's not a closing down of the heart. It's not a fearful, guarded place. When you are in a true state of bringing in and actualizing unconditional love and keeping the heart open, you are so safe. What keeps all of us not safe is fear. When you live in fear, you are captured and you are tortured and you are trapped. And perfect love, which is unconditional love, casts out all fear. It's one of the trickiest one of the interesting scriptures, but that's what it means. What is perfect love? It's unconditional love. We all know conditional love. I love you if you do this. I love you, don't do that. And we do that all to ourselves. Well, I'll be more worthy next week if I've lost 5 pounds, or I'll be more deserving of something. Oh my God.
She just wants a drink.
She wants a drink.
She wants a drink. No, she just wants to see if it's vodka.
There you go. Maybe that's why. Nothing wrong with that. That's funny. So cute. That's interesting to me.
Yes.
When you were here, she was on you before, right? She made a beeline for you, right? Yeah, she's my little healer cat. She's been doing this to certain people.
Unconditional love.
And animals really teach us about that because they love you whether you feed them, whether you don't. It's like babies, they're just in that alpha state. And they just exude energy. They go, you're going to love me whether you want to or not. It's funny because oh my God, that's so cute. That is cute. Oh my God, I love that. No, I've actually, in the 5 or 6 weeks I've had her, I've had several people that thought they didn't like cats who wanted to take her home by the end of the day. They were like, I like this cat. This cat's like a dog. This cat's really friendly. Yeah, very loving. She's a Russian blue, and she's the most loving, sweet little kitty cat in the world. She's so amazing. She is. She is. And it's one of those cool stories because we both go to the same place, but we don't go to the same person at a healing center. And we didn't even know that we went to the same place. So Emily sends me a picture of, she knows I have 2 other Russian blues, she goes, look at this amazing cat. Well, in the way she wrote this and put the picture on Facebook, I thought she wanted the cat. Of course, it's how spirit tricks you into and she's going, and I didn't know what you said, but it was something, she took this picture of her on the path by these beautiful flowers. So, ironically, I was going there the next day to have cranial sacral work done. I go, and Glenda had read the thing. She goes, why don't you take, a can of food and blah, blah, blah. And so I kind of have this, thing in my mind, whatever. And I find out that she's been living there since, we figured, August 5th maybe, or August 3rd. My mom, who just passed over, neighbor, her birthday was August 4th. Right I thought, this is part of my mom's energy. I know it. So I go, and the minute I park the car, here she comes. So I give her some food, and the doctors that own this place are very kind, and they've been leaving a back screened-in porch open for her at night. So she was, this is on 32, this is back offset, fortunately far enough off the road. And I guess she'd been there, maybe a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks by the time, but she'd been, So when the session was done, I came out, and I said, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to come with me? And she jumps in my car. And so I'm driving, and she was really good, because sometimes I don't want to get her on my feet, so we're driving, and she squirmed a little, and then she settled down. So we're driving, and I call Emily, and she goes, no, I just thought you might want. So I keep the kitty. It might have been the next session I was up there, a couple of sessions later, I'm coming out of my session, Emily is walking up the walk into the very spot where she had sent me the picture of the cat. We connected. Wow. And she was not going to the person I was going to. She was going, yeah. It was like this, and that's when you know, when you have synchronistic moments, they're amazing. And then that was even more amazing when I found out all the other bigger connections. Life is very interesting right now. So keep open. And again, my logical mind's going, you have 8 cats, you have 2 dogs. I have 9 cats now. She lives in the healing center here now. It's so funny. And ironically, the last 3 cats that have manifested in my life are all Russian blues. Which are, if you've never seen one, they're spectacular. They're one of the most intelligent of the cats, and they're like dogs. They wag their tails. They come if you call them. They're very smart. They follow you around like a dog. They're very loving.
Someone had tried to take her home earlier, but she cried the whole time.
That's right. Somebody had even rescued this cat, taken her all the way home, and she cried, so they took her back. And the second she was in here, it was like, hey, I'm home, I'm lounging, we're good. So it's she's really sending good energy to you guys. I like this. That's so good. Someday we'll have a thing here, people can see close-up shot of what we're seeing. That's pretty funny. So we're in a magical time. The way to think of it, it's magical. have magic. You have magical powers. You have mystical powers. You have all the gifts of spirit. We're made in the image of Creator. And I'm not talking about magic like witchcraft or magic like Harry Potter or that kind of stuff. I'm talking true magic is when you are at peace with you and you're in a centered place filled with light, filled with love. You become a magnet for whatever you need or want. And we keep forgetting it because it's very easy to get the big bad wolf. All the things, Grimm's fairy tales are all archetypical stories of what life's journeys of the dark side that we go through. So many things in mythology are about the journey of the soul. And we go through the dark night of the soul, but then we ascend up into the light. And my whole theme for the last 20, 30 years, my teachings are Paradise, Return to the Garden, Paradise Found, How to Be in Heaven Without Dying to Get There. And it's a working title of a book I've had that I need some time off. I'm trying to figure out how to carve out time to write. You don't have to die to go to heaven. You don't have to, getting out of that loop of I'm alive, I'm dead, it's day, it's night, it's this, it's that. The garden is still here. You never left your garden. You just got trapped through fear into the perception that you were separate. That illusion of separation is the key thing. It's being healed right now. It can also be a frightening thing because, again, what you as the Lord of your creation have created, and there's wonderful things, but you're also facing icky stuff that's like, whoa, why did I create this? How did I get into this mess? But again, don't beat yourself up. Forgive yourself. We've all messed up. We've all done things that were just, wow, how in the world did I do this? The point is, don't do it again. Just don't keep doing it. It's like, Spirit's always saying to me, if you're on the train track and you see this train barrel, get off the track. But so many times we don't. We just keep standing there. We just do this, we know, and then we go, I knew that was going to happen. I knew this thing was going to happen. It's about being your own rescuer, too. We have to grow up in spirit. It's not about somebody saving us from something or somebody else doing it for us. We are in the time of co-creation with others, with spirit, with ourselves. Coming into that powerful place of our adult spiritual self in a physical body on the planet at this time. And there's a huge population boom because all the souls want to be back here right now. Because it's such a magical time. It's such a wonderful time. A lot of us have been here at these amazing times where there was also incredible destruction. The flood, the this, the that. And if you look at what's going on in the world right now, who would ever thought Boulder, Colorado? And I don't watch much TV. I flipped on Acapulco is flooded. People are waist high trying to get through the airport with things that it's totally flooded. Acapulco, what? I mean, like the most bizarre places. It's not things you would think of being, And I have friends who have children in Boulder in different situations, and it's just been frightening. And now they're showing all the contaminated water and blah 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 and all the. So there's a lot going on out there. This is the thing. Don't get caught up in the fear. Know that a lot of what's happening is natural. Some may not be. Some may be other things. But the point is, there's always times of this death, rebirth, and don't get caught up in the drama. Don't get caught up in your own drama. That's one of the hardest things for all of us because drama can be fun for a while, and then it will just kick your butt and wear you out. Oh, what was that? But did you hear an airplane or something?
I heard something.
Something.
The last 3 days we've been here.
Yeah, because they used to have the black.
Like a chair coming across it.
Yeah. There's a lot of activity there. Something is moving around, that's for sure. So, again, don't get seduced to find yourself 24/7 watching TV. Watch it selectively. Doesn't mean you don't have to turn it off totally, but anytime Honey Boo Boo, and that's probably one of the better shows
Yeah.
of reality TV, because actually they are kind of real. I think that's really is how they live every day. And so that's a little slice of life, but hey, it's kind of interesting for a minute. You can see how they script it, and it's not interesting. But anytime you have this wide range, whatever you want to call it, of reality TV that is stuff that you go, oh my gosh, what is this? You know that something else is going on in the outer world to divert you from your path. Seriously. We don't have the gladiators and the amphitheaters anymore. So now we have redneck fishing, and we have on the Animal Channel. I feel so sorry for those catfish. I think they're abusing them. It's so upset. We have, whatever, just crazy stuff, and it's, you have enough drama in your own life. You don't need to be watching other people's. My point is, it's going to get more and more. There's some interesting shows. Unearthing America is fabulous. It's on History Channel, and it's about the lies in archaeology. It's going into some really interesting. This guy's really educated, really does his thing, talks about how he thinks the Knights Templar were here, talks about the Holy Grail, talks about Mary Magdalene, Jesus, talks about, going down deeper where the Phoenicians were mining all the copper out of Michigan, and there's proof of all these mining, the things that the copper's basically gone. It was gone when people started trying to mine it, years ago. So where did it go? Who was here? And then they find tablets that have Phoenician symbols on them. Why in Illinois do we have Egypt, Nile, all the different names? It's because they found things. We have Mexico, Peru, Indiana. I don't think they just named them that. There's total proof that the people from Yucatan were up here. I mean, absolutely. You go to Cahokia, the huge, beautiful mound group where 30,000 people lived. The things they found in their trade came from all over the world, came from everywhere. We have angel mounds near Evansville, same thing. I think 15,000 people live there in this amazing fortress and mound group. What they do, and there's a book called Forbidden Archaeology, and they dig down to carbon date and to prove the theories of whoever's doing the PhD, or the theories of, there's reasons why they don't want people to know certain things. So, as we all know, Columbus did not discover America. There were lots of other people here. And if you talk to all even like the most ancient Indian groups, a lot of them will tell you, we did not build this certain mound. This was here when we came. There's all amazing things. So it's that we live in this time of a revealment. Everything's being revealed, and the illusions being stripped away. The lies are being exposed, and that's what's exciting. So take that into your own life. Don't buy the party line of what you were trained with, or what you were taught in any dogmatic way by your parents, by school, by religion. Think for yourself. Wake up. Wake up. We've all been programmed to not think for ourselves. Every one of you are unique, beautiful beings of light. There's no one like you, and you're here on this earth at this time on the earth for a purpose. All you need to do is go work with yourself. Go within. Why am I here? What's my highest good? How do I find true joy and happiness and fulfillment? How do I don't want to be a slave anymore. And we've all become slaves in so many different ways. so many different ways that we enslave ourselves. And it's not the path. We're not here to be subjugated. We're here to be beautiful, have beautiful lives and have joyful lives and have happy lives, fulfilled lives. So if you're miserable, no, you don't have to stay that way. But the best way to not be miserable is to embrace being miserable. Because what happens, we'll feel something, but then we don't want to feel it, so we try to avoid it. So it's not going to go away if you're polarizing with it. You just want to dive into it. But you don't want to stay there. You just want to feel whatever it is, move through it. Again, it's the attachment. It's the familiarity. We've been programmed that it's good to suffer somehow. No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain. Love hurts, blah, blah, blah. They're all lies. Love's not supposed to hurt. Conditional love hurts like heck. Unconditional love does not hurt. I've had this for so many years, people who are amazing athletes and runners drop dead. I got hold of a few and told them to stop running. Look at the picture of health. 50 years old, they drop dead. Because they're running. They're hurting their bodies. They're pounding their bodies on the pavement. They look like the picture. They're not. There's, so many things and it's good to be athletic, but the best, be gentle to your body. Don't beat your body up. It doesn't want to be beaten into looking a certain way. One of the most amazing things to me is, because I've done the Dalai Lama and the different monks, I've been many years ago in my early 20s, I was living in New York City and wandered into, some of us were living in New York and heard there was going to be this big gathering in New Jersey. We didn't know what we were going to, where it's some ceremony or something that happens every 250,000 years. We're going, hey, this is cool. We were hippies. We're like, hey, driving in the countryside, finding this place, and there's like this massive amount of people. It turns out to, ironically, a Mongolian monastery, Tibetans, or, they were Buddhists, but they're Mongolian. And when I'm telling the story, it's a really interesting story. So here there's like 4 of us, 5 of us, and these massive amounts of people, and there's nowhere to really even see or know what's going on. So all of a sudden, it starts raining. So people start running away, and so we just went right up to the altar. We went right up to where they were doing the chanting and where they were doing the prayers, and all of a sudden they were giving us like rice and different things, and I looked around and I go, where did everybody go? Because people had just cleared back and they're running for their cars and all kinds of crap. Well, I love rain. To me, it's like purging. And the monk, who I was surprised even spoke any kind of English, he said, oh, they thought it was raining, you knew it was purging. And it was the most amazing. And so that was my introduction. I'd read things, been involved with some things, but this is a direct transmission. This is probably 1972. Fast forward to 1978. I'm in Bloomington. I was going through didn't feel good, and I'd heard that the Dalai Lama's brother, Taksi Rinpoche, had brought in a Mongolian doctor who was also a monk. I see Churji Lama, and he had come from that monastery. Yeah. And in a minute I was healed of certain things. They do the 5 pulse medicine, they do different things, and a heartbeat, whatever, 2 or 3 just sitting sessions with him, and then we realized about the just in an instant. Then in 1979, he actually did a wedding ceremony for Keith Kaufman, my now ex-husband, we're very connected, we're married for 13 years. He's the father of Marilene. We had a ceremony with him, and he doesn't really do weddings. So pay attention to your life. When something says go on a lark, go do something, do it, because it will change your life. This is how life works. When you feel free enough to go and explore or be open. And I just had more and more, when I look back on the journey, or I guess present time in the journey of my life, so many things are clear to me now of why this happened or why this didn't happen. And we've been talking about that in the last few weeks also, that when the lower mind attaches and we think this is, if I don't get this job, or I want this relationship, or this is what's going to make me happy. And in hindsight, you look back and you go, oh my God, thank God I didn't connect with that person, or thank God I didn't get that job, or so it's that kind of thing. And know that a lot of what happens to all of us, it's karmic. But we're not learning through the wheel of karma anymore. We are in Dharma. What's Dharma? It's not a movie or New Age kids' names. Dharma is when karma is when you keep riding that merry-go-round. You keep learning through repetition. It's also about 10, 15 years ago, Spirit told me that karma is an antiquated system. It's too hard to be born and gestated and blah, blah, blah. But we're supposed to hang on to our bodies for a long time. We're not supposed to die at 70, 80, whatever. And I totally believe that. I believe that we are supposed to be in our bodies for a very, very long time and in good health. I'll be 65 November 5th. I've never had a shot of Botox. I've never had anything. A long time ago, I got rid of the idea of aging or death. When I do healing, when I do energy work with people, it's not me. I become one with the light, with the people. We're just one energy, and it's only the light moving through. You can do this to your own life. Let go of these concepts of death and aging and suffering. It's not how we're supposed to be on this earth. There's many cultures, not just the biblical stories of Methuselah and people that lived to be 600 years old, or Saint Germain, who was seen through 6 court systems. Documented. He was an alchemist. He was literally documented. Count Saint Germain was seen through 6 courts, the French courts. It's real. They're not fairy tales. They're not fairy tales. We are meant to be. It's too hard. Okay, so how do we get into the Dharma? That's what's happening now. That's what we're having trouble adjusting to. Dharma is when you're off of that wheel, and whatever moment that you're in, you're fulfilling that moment. You don't walk away and think, oh my God, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have said that. It's when you expand whatever moment and engage with it and be in it. It's unbelievable. And a good visual is one of the most ancient symbols is a circle with a dot. You're no longer riding the wheel. It's like the best John Lennon song, I just had to let it go. When he got off the wheel and he stayed home with his child. And nobody could understand it. And there was nothing more important to him because he knew he was going to die. I had very strong dreams of him before and I knew people that knew him in New York. Actually, I knew a psychic that read for him, he and Yoko, and he knew. I had a dream on his birthday before he was murdered that he told me, he said, hey, and he had this black and white shirt on, and some of the other Beatles were there too, and he was running through this theater, and he came running up to me, he goes, Marilene, I'm high on the 9s, and it's okay. 9 is the number of death and endings. And he knew. He knew. And sometimes when you let go of what you thought was important, like certain types of fame or certain types of, there's nothing more important than love and your children and the things, your home. So that's what happened to him. But it was a good thing because he knew. So he let it go. That merry-go-round, he let it go. That wheel will always be going around, but you're not on it anymore. You get off, you plop yourself in a spot, and you're stationary. Whatever you need, you can magnetically pull to yourself. How do you do that? When you don't have attachment. When your lower mind's not going, it has to be this, or it has to happen this way, or it needs to be something like this. It's when you surrender and you get off of the wheel of suffering, and I guarantee you, whatever you need will be manifested. You will pull it to yourselves. We've all had those moments when you're in the flow and you find the parking spot right in front. You don't have to drive around. And you have days like that where it's magic. Everything just flows. We've all had those. They're wonderful. Then we have the ones that are like hellacious, where every obstacle and every icky thing in the world just comes at you. It's again, we're healing the last of that duality. So it's almost like Spirit saying, okay, do you want to do this, or how do you want to be? Do you want to do this one, or do you want to do this one? And that's the tricky part. Where is that thing of surrendering and taking action? And a lot of times, and this is what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about blind faith, the kind of people you see that turn to religion because they're getting older and the flames are coming and they sit and watch televangelists on TV. And again, I'm not putting that down, there's something for everybody. And I see it a lot. I've seen a lot of people come in. My father was a real SOB, but now he's sitting and watching so-and-so. I go, well, you know what? That's because, yes, he's mellowing out. He's thinking about the things he didn't do right. And, there's just so many levels of ways Spirit speaks to us. We can't judge it. But you really want to hear, feel, see your path. Don't go into dogma. Don't go into fear-based reality or fear-based religion or fear-based control, things that, that kind of stuff. You really want to move through those. The lower mind will always want to find solace in that kind of thing. So blind faith is different than knowing faith. When you're in a state of knowing faith, it's the most peaceful thing in the world because it's not this blind, dogmatic, I'm going to surrender because I don't know what else to do and I'm afraid. Knowing faith will sustain you through anything. It will guide you. There is a Holy Spirit. There is energy that dwells within all of us that guides us all the time. We just don't listen. Animals are born with instinct. People are born with intuition. We all have it. We have varying degrees of how we perceive the guidance. But most people go against themselves. We do it every day. We think, I knew I shouldn't have done this, or I felt I should have done this, or I start to feel safe enough to go into your knowing faith and take action. Don't be afraid. Take the action. Don't keep letting yourself being victimized or staying in that contained space where you really do know and you really do feel, but you're not taking the next step. I think that's all of our lessons right now is that actualization of things. Does anybody have a question or anything you want to talk about or share before we do meditation? So Kitty's still resting. That's so cute. Oh my God. Do you guys have dogs? Or a dog? No animals?
We used to,
You used to have a dog. You have 2 dogs?
the ones.
Just the one? Because that's interesting. You have a lot of spirit energy around you that's like connected with animals. That's so. She's just generating energy for you
She
guys.
doesn't seem stressed.
No, she's helping you. She's taking away your stress. That's what they do.
Yes,
do they?
yes.
Mhm.
Good, well, we need it.
Oh my God, that's what's so cool. They do. Oh my gosh, they're so. Oh, I wake up some days I'm covered in cats or dogs. I love it. It's like stress free. I have my own. It's like, oh, okay, good. They're so comforting. They are wonderful. Anybody? So I went over a wide array. So we'll do a short meditation. Doesn't matter if you've meditated before and never meditated. Why we do the guided meditations are they're in the moment. It's nothing I've read. It's nothing, anything I talk about, it's all very intuitive, in the moment kind of thing. And it's not some weird thing you have to do. All you got to do is just be here. Be as present as you can be. This is a safe space. In accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask the bodies to align mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally in the present time. It's safe to let go of the past. It's safe to be in the present. It's safe to totally move forward into now. We ask all shame, guilt, fear to come forward to be transmuted into positive energy. We ask all pictures of death to be turned into pictures of life. I want you to feel the safety of your own life. No matter what may be going on in your outer world right now that looks ominous, precarious. You may feel like you're falling off the edge of the earth or the worst thing in the world's going to happen to you. Let that go. Know that you create more than you would ever know your reality. I want you to feel the safety of now. And I want you to feel and know, again, how real your own life force is, how you have much more control of what's manifesting than you might think. So I want you to visualize that we are walking trees. We have an incredible root system. Just like what you see with trees, they say that what's above the earth in a tree, it mirrors down into the earth. That root system is just as deep. So I want you to visualize that on the bottoms of your feet there are hundreds of wheels of light or chakras that connect you deep, deep, deep down into the earth. And above your head, the crown chakra, and again, in ancient times when people wore crowns, it wasn't just about you were special, it was about the type of metals that were used and the jewels that were used were attracted frequencies. So I want you to feel this amazing, deep, deep connection into the Mother Earth, into the magnetic. Let that magnetic energy pull you deep into your roots. And the earth is safe. She's alive and well and moving, and you move with her. It's a beautiful thing. You are the tree of life. It's the ancient teaching, the secret of the Kabbalah. You are the tree of life. Feel that deep, deep, deep connection down into the earth. But I also want you to feel this amazing electrical energy of the Divine Father. The magnetic energy of the earth is keeping you safe and grounded, and this root system is amazing. It has the ability to pull nutrients from the earth into your body. but it also has a way to detoxify your body, to let poisons out. I want you to let go of all the fatigue and the worry and the stress of the day, of the week, of this life. Just let it, just feel that magnetic energy pulling from every cell of your body, pulling out the poisons, the lower frequencies. Just let them go down into the earth, down to the bottoms of your feet. Let it just see as an open drain. The earth will neutralize this. And I want you to feel this beautiful connection. Everybody has a connection also with the star. And again, your whole energy field goes out 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100 feet. But you're a huge being. Huge, huge, huge being. And I want you to feel this connection. I want you to feel how this connection is with this electrical energy. In ancient times, there was all this image of the angry God throwing the lightning bolt and punishing. That's not the real Divine Father. I want you to feel this electrical energy in the star that you're connected with. The magnetic pull of the Mother is pulling this electrical energy right down through your crown chakra, right down through your body. The union of the male-female, the union of the Mother and the Father. Yab-yam, yin-yang. Elohim, in our image, we created the male and female. This magical union. We don't live in a dying universe. We live in a living universe where new things are created all the time. Your body is a microcosm of the universe. I want you to allow and feel how, when you're connected with, it's the mystery of heaven and earth. We are of heaven and earth. And now there's no separation. It's like this, the Star of David, the 6-point, it's the male, female, and union. And I want you to feel that union. And in that attraction of that magnetic electrical energy, new life force is being created in every cell of your being. We ask, again, all pictures of death to be turned into pictures of life. All pictures of fear to be transmuted into pictures of unconditional love and truth. I want you to feel the heaviness of the burdens. Everyone's been feeling the heavy burden. Let it go. Let it go. It's like taking off a wet cloak, wool cloak that you've been carrying around for a long time. Just feel it unloosening from around your neck, around your shoulders, and how it's been draping you and burdening you. Let it go. Just take it off. Let it absorb into the earth. In accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask the original divine blueprint for your life to come into full activation. We ask the lower DNA, the sins of the fathers that go through 7 generations, which are weaknesses of the body, mind, and spirit. We ask them to come forward to be transmuted. We ask the patterns that your soul has been living in that are not of the light, that are no longer necessary, that are toxic, that are stagnant, that are killing you. We ask all those attachments to come forward from anywhere in your being of any level. And we're not only going to cut these cords, we're going to pull them out by the root. We want the Holy Spirit to go back to the point of origin of all things that are bringing you sorrow, suffering, negativity, destruction. Just let that light shine in every cell. Let go of the shame, the guilt, the fear, the burdens, the karmas, the addictions, the disease. No matter where it's manifested, it can be healed. I want you to feel this light energy transmutating everything. There's an energy that's so powerful right now. I want you just to feel how your body is shifting. The bodies, the many levels, the vehicles of who you are shifting right now. Let it go. Just let it go. We have this amazing root chakra. It's like a taproot that goes down into the earth. It's the first chakra, and it's the color black because it's the color of the earth. It's located in the tailbone perineum region of the body, but it's a walking tree. This incredible taproot is like a lightning rod that connects you deep in the earth, but it connects you also right up to the heavens. And I want you to feel, again, it's safe to be a spiritual being in a physical body on the earth at this time, but we want to disconnect. We want any old beliefs or things that have been programmed in that are keeping you rooted in suffering. We want them pulled out by the root. And we ask the Archangel Michael now to sever all negative cords. I want you to feel that connection and that safety. As above, so below. Again, this beautiful lightning rod that's connecting you to a star is part of this root chakra that's connecting you deep into the earth, and it's one energy field, and it's healing and cleansing and activating life in your body. It's bringing you back to life out of death. I want you to feel the energy moving into the second chakra, the color of red, to the whole sexual reproductive area of the body. This is not just about sex and reproduction. It's where you co-create with God. It's where you regenerate life within your own body. Again, we ask all abuse, molestation, blocks, guilt, shame, fear connected with this area of the body to come forward to be healed. It's safe to be a spiritual, sexual being in the physical body on the earth at this time. It's safe to create. It's safe to create life within your own body. It's safe to connect with spirit and make new energy. It's safe to bring forward all of your creative abilities. When we don't create, it becomes destructive. You're all creative. You're all co-creators. Feel this amazing blood red energy going to every cell of your body, cleansing, healing, regenerating. And as this energy swirls up right below the navel, is what's called the Buddhic flame or the Christ flame. And it's going to ignite the third chakra, this central sun in this whole solar plexus area of the body. It's just like you would visualize turning on a gas stove. This beautiful flame emerges. It's purple, it's orange, it's yellow, and it's igniting this third chakra here. If our bodies are a microcosm of the universe, this is the center, young phallus, the This whole umbilical cord area is the center. I want you to feel the power of this third chakra. The first three chakras of the body are the furnace. If you don't have the furnace going, it can't sustain the upper chakras. Feel the power, the fire in your belly. The fire in your belly that makes you want to live and get up again, no matter what's happened to you, to push forward, to move through, to actualize why your soul is on this earth. This is where the ego is stored, and we've been so taught to be afraid of the word power. What's wrong with anything is the misuse of it, and so many have misused power against you, or you may have misused power in other places and times. Feel the purity of the power of creation, the power of unconditional love, the power of you as an individuated soul, bringing all of who you are into this level. Feel that fire in your belly in a good way. That's why there's so much disease and illness. And people are so ashamed of their stomachs and so ashamed of this belly. This is the important center to just fill with life and light. Let it move. Let it come to life. It's a central sun radiating fire through your whole body, burning off the dross, burning off the negativity, burning through the miasms, burning through the parasites, cleansing your body. Healing your body, burning off all the disease, all of the negative energy, all the attachments. You may feel yourself getting very hot. This energy is very warm, very hot energy. Let it burn through. Let it burn out. You're like a phoenix. You're going to rise from the ashes of this. Let this energy burn through. Let go of the putrid, stagnant energy in your gut. Let go of things you're clinging on to, things you've stuffed down into the center. Burn them up. Burn it up. Burn up those fears. Burn up that negative ego. Burn up those negative attachments. Again, because we're in this area of the body, we'll bring forward family karma. We manifest the earth, mother and father, and anything that is positive that came through your genetics or came through your birth family or came through your attachment with your birth mother, father can stay. But anything lingering in this umbilical cord area that's not of the light, that's not you, that's not yours to bear anymore, we ask all the things that are not yours to be pulled out by the root. And again, we ask the Archangel Michael to sever, to cut those cords, sever those cords. You are not your family's karma. You are not your mother or your father. You can become your own mother and father from within. Love yourself. Nurture yourself. Let go of the old images. Let go of the outward forms. Feel the love of the Divine Mother, Divine Father, but feel it from within. And empower yourself to become your own mother and father. I want you to feel this energy moving up to the chest, to the heart. And it's the most beautiful color of green, emerald green, color of healing. I want you to feel this energy moving into your heart. Let it go into the wounds. We've all had abandonment, rejection, persecution. unrequited love, lost love. Disappointment. We've all experienced pain through relationships. Let your heart open. Let those wounds that are festering, let those things you're harboring in your heart, let them go. Open up the wounds. Let this green energy of unconditional love move into those wounds. This piercing of the heart, the sacred heart that's being pierced. It's about unconditional love. It's to know we all go through the same archetypical things on this earth. It's safe to send and receive unconditional love for yourself and for others. It's safe to open to the compassionate path for yourself, for others. And there's a beautiful pink color here, color of unconditional love. It has a lot of sparkly gold and silver energy mixed in with the pink. Feel this energy moving and cleansing and healing and activating and attracting. The beloved is within and without. The soulmate is within. It's safe to connect with the inner soulmate. It's safe to heal the enmity between male and female, between the yin and the yang, from within and without. It's safe to attract unconditional love to yourself. It's safe to attract the highest level of relationships to yourself. To feel and let your heart be open. It's safe to open your heart and keep your heart open. What hurts you and what kills people is the opening and shutting of the heart chakra. That's why we have so much heart disease. That's why we have so much breast cancer. This whole area of the body is so armored and shut down, and you've got to fill this area with light. Let the light go in, and know that you can magnetically attract to yourself the highest good, the highest relationships, the most wonderful fulfillment. I want you to feel the blue energy moving up. There's a beautiful sapphire blue energy, color of the throat chakra. I want you to feel this blue, electric blue energy moving up through the throat, into the teeth, into the gums. It's safe to speak your truth. It's safe to hear your truth. There's a lot of activation. People are being, it's very, very important to speak your truth and to hear your truth. And we ask for a powerful gift of Holy Spirit of discernment to know that what we're hearing is true. What we're speaking is true. It's a wonderful gift of Spirit is to be able to discern. And I want you to feel empathically. I want you to know it's safe to be sensitive, but not a raw nerve. Empathic in a way that's balanced, that doesn't make you sick, that doesn't get you off your path. And I want you to feel in the third eye, which are the functioning of the pineal and pituitary glands, there's 2 pulse points in the forehead. Except the eye becomes single, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Except you become as a child, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. except a man become a woman or a woman become a man, they cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. It's talking about when we go into union instead of the duality of the two eyes, the left brain, right brain. In this third eye, in this oneness, it's safe to see with the third eye in a safe way that brings guidance for yourself, for others in a balanced way. Safe to see, safe to hear, safe to feel your truth. And again, the crown chakra is and this is a beautiful purple color. You might even be experiencing and seeing this purple color. Beautiful purple color. And then the crown chakra, which is totally awakened, has another color of purple connecting. We send this light and this energy to our families, to ourselves, to all sentient beings, to all life. It's safe to remember why you're here. It's safe to actualize why you're here. It's safe to come out of the lower mind. It's safe to take the plunge into manifesting your dreams, into being a co-creator, into living a life of fulfillment and happiness and joy. There's a very strong sound of the universe, a sound current here tonight. There's many ancestors here with us too, many beings of light. We are all one, we're all on one path here. And again, I want you just to feel the safety of unconditional love. I want you to let go of, and this may be people, objects, ways of thinking, ways of doing things, but you're ready to let go of anything that's not of the light. Let it go. Don't hang on to things that need to go. Have faith to know something way better will come in its place. Open to receive. See yourself as this beautiful magnet. You're out of the wheel. You're sitting in place, and all that you need, you're attracting to yourself. And you're repelling away the things, people, and situations that are not of the light. And when you're ready, return to the consciousness of this room, feeling restored, renewed, filled with life. We ask this healing and connecting to continue into the night, into the dreams, into the days to come. Just let it go. Let all the old energy go. Feel that fountain of youth moving through your body. Rise up like the phoenix, leaving behind the old ashes, the old shell. Let it go. It's safe to be healthy, it's safe to be whole, it's safe to let go of all levels of dis-ease. We ask the peace that passes all understanding to come into the heart, mind, body, and spirit. Wow. Mm. Mhm. Little, that's amazing. She's just,
She's right there with them.
it's so sweet. I love it.
There with you.
Was there something moving around in that corner?
Oh, yeah.
All the little noises over there.
Yeah, I think it's many different levels of things. It's there's a cleansing. You know, our home is our consciousness, and our body is our temple. And you're going to find all kinds of things cleansing, activated. You're going to hear things, feel things as you're shifting. Well, it's all about frequency. You know, we're all just one. We're all made up of pixels. You know, we think that everything is so solid, but everything is just like pixels. And we have even animate objects have auras because they're not made up of, nothing's really solid. The illusion that this is all solid. They're all just energy. And so it just keep moving. This is the thing. This has been what Spirit's been just screaming. You can't be around foul, dead, anything that is putrid, that is decay, that is stagnant, that is not life-giving. You have to let it go, or it will take you down. It will take you down. You do not want to feed those things. You don't have to feed those things. It's like, for example, this house was built in 1928, and it was built as a wedding present by the bride's parents for the wedding couple. And the Newby family built it, and I'm pretty sure they were connected with the Speedway and different things. But they'd been in Spain, and so they had seen this house, a Spanish mission house, and they had built it. It's a very small replica of it, and every room has a different style stucco, different. It's about 30 years ago. It's hard to believe. But this is really interesting. I don't even know when it started. All of a sudden, over there, for those of you here, you can see it. This beautiful stucco started to buckle, and I'd had a hailstorm, and so I'd had some things repaired. And for some reason, and again in feng shui, it was in the relationship area of my room. So I sat here for a couple of years just looking at it, and I thought, I'll just paint over it. And I'm going, no, this is really creepy. It started to buckle and buckle more. And I thought, we discovered where there was a beam on the outside that moisture was getting in. We fixed that. And the person that was helping fix it, I said, I can't stand it anymore. I don't care what's under there. Just take that off. And I would rather see the old lath beam so I can make sure everything is dry before we find somebody that knows nobody knows how to do the style stucco anymore. But I like it now. And I actually had somebody come and go, oh, that's so cool. Did you leave it like that so people could see the original lath work? And the second that crumbling thing that was so apparent that something was wrong, that we kept painting over it and kind of disguising it, hanging, things up. The minute that came off, many relationships in my life changed. And one of the most interesting things, some of the putrid, nasty ones that I didn't realize were putrid, nasty fell away, and I'm not connected with those people anymore. The stagnancy that was around me left, and all kinds of good new people came into my life. And it's amazing how we do that, right? We just keep covering, and I kept sitting and looking, and if I don't have the $300 or $400 to fix it, so I'm not, hey, Laura, mine goes through these things, and blah, 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 and, And the second Terry took that stuff off of there, and he goes, are you sure? And I go, yeah, rip that stuff off. Expose it. It all changed. the last stop is this level. So again, your home is your consciousness. Your body is your temple. Everything starts in the mental, emotional, spiritual, then becomes physical. Don't cover crap up. Anything you've swept under the carpet, I got news for you. We can see through the carpet. We're all transparent. There is nothing you're going to be hiding anymore. Let me tell you. It's like, oh. So you would go into, and why they do this, I have no idea. They would sell a lot more clothes if they did not put fluorescent lights in those dressing rooms in department stores. That's one of those moments you go, oh my God. I was like, whoa. You know? Ugh. The light is here. The more you try, the energy, we can all look back in our lives and see the effort you might have put into maintaining a facade, caring about what somebody thought. Those, yeah. Those big ones, yes. Maintaining a lifestyle, maintaining when something is really rotten and putrid, but putting on the good face and covering up the truth of what's going on. You don't want to be there anymore. It'll only bring death. Don't put energy. Like I say, don't put good money after bad, you know? It's not what you want to be doing. Any area of your life, let it be exposed. When I was a little kid, I could read and write when I was like kind of 2.5. My mom was a school teacher, so we started, I was a quick learner with that. I couldn't tie my shoes and other things, but I could read and write and do other things. So by the time I went to school, I started when I was young. I was 5, and I spent most of first and second grade out in the hallway or in the back because I wouldn't color in the lines, and I daydreamed. They actually put on my report card, daydreams in class. And it was so good because what they did to punish me was put me in the hallway. It was so awesome. It was like, yes. So I just sit and hang out there and stuff. And so I would get these really weird, I found these report cards, right? And then papers I would make. And some of them even, even when you're a little kid, this is back, I was born in 1948, this is back in the 50s, oh my God. In Connersville, Indiana, small town. Any paper I got, it doesn't matter if it was an A or an F, I would hang it up. So people would come over and they would go, why do you put papers that are D and F on your wall? And I said, because I did it. Because I did all of it. I never got in that concept of, I only have to have this A to be. And it's a really interesting thing. And then it's interesting to watch how yourself as you get older, they'll get away from that, right? And I've had a lot of flashbacks of that, of just that really naive sense of myself, of like, it doesn't matter, it's mine, I did it, I don't care if it wasn't good, or what other person thought it wasn't good. And that's a real key thing for all of us right now, is get rid of the grading system. Get rid of the idea of how you rate yourself. And it's so hard because we're conditioned that way. God doesn't rate you that way. God loves you unconditionally. You're good as you are. There's the old hymn, here I am, just as I am. And when you surrender and you let go of that ego that wants to always pretend and hide and cover and put you in situations where you end up lying to yourself and lying to other people. And many times people don't lie for bad reasons. People don't want to hurt people. So you start that little tiny white lie. And pretty soon you're putting all this energy into like covering, and you lie more, and you go down this really weird path. And we've talked about this in past oracles. The difference between compassion and feeling sorry for people. When we feel sorry for somebody or something, we have an attachment. It's pulling us because we are identifying, and we'll usually get victimized. But when you're in a true, open feeling of true compassion, the compassion will teach you to do the right thing. If you're supposed to help the person on the street and give them money, and you know they're not going to then go buy liquor or whatever, or, they're really going to buy food, that you'll do that. You'll know who to help. You know how to help. Sometimes helping people is not helping people. We're enabling. But so when you're in that place of compassion, that guidance comes from, you'll have discernment for where to give out and where not to. And when you don't, when you're in that place of feeling sorry, you will be led down paths of attachment. And it's usually something you're seeing about yourself. It's like, I do a lot with, I try to do it in a very clean way with animal rescue. And one of the saddest things I see with so many people in animal rescue, they need rescuing. They don't start out hoarders, they become hoarders many times because they're trying to rescue and save so many people. There's so many good people that do it in a positive way. There's so many people that are wounded, and they see these wounded animals. One of the strangest things I see on Facebook all the time, you see these beautiful, healthy kittens and cats and dogs, and they're unfortunately, they just have passed many states. There's only 2 or 3 places yet that they gas. They finally passed in Michigan and no gassing. Gassing takes 2 hours, folks, to kill an animal. And they put dogs and cats in together and say, at least you don't ever want to see the things they put up on Facebook. It's the worst. It's like Hitler. You might as well be in Germany. It's horrific. And so they're, right. That's many of those laws are changing. But you'll see, like, these animals put up, and Joey got hit by a car, and he's, these horrible, obviously they should be humanely put to sleep. And people will give thousands and thousands and thousands. So it's fascinating. I talk about it a lot, people get mad at me, and I don't care. Because it's that same thing. For some reason, we get hooked into, it's that discernment. It's that non-attachment will give you wise judgment. So look in your lives about, and when we're feeling, and again, sometimes it's okay to feel sorry for yourself because we all have been victimized and wounded, but don't stay there. Not going to get you anywhere because you'll keep attracting people that will victimize you, keep attracting that suffering. And there's nothing wrong with feeling the pain, but then move through it. So I'm talking about all the different things. Move through it. Don't stay in it. Just don't stay trapped in it. It's a very dangerous thing right now. And I'm not kidding you. I've been in such a ramp. I almost feel like oh my God. I've been going through, if I see something in my refrigerator that I think is like been a second too long, I'm throwing it away. I'm sensing all the things that are putrid and wrong now. But that's okay. Instead of feeling depressed by it or oppressed by it, it feels good to do something about it. And then the minute I do that, something really good comes in. We're so taught to kind of hoard and hang on to. And I've walked out of whole houses of stuff before. Didn't even look back when I was younger. I've lived Zen. I've loved having everything. I've loved all kinds of levels of lives. It's a very interesting thing right now with objects and with, just pay attention. You will know in your own life what you need to be rid of. Hey, I still got some clothes I wore in the 70s, all right? I don't know if I can get into them, but hey, I got some disco shoes. They make me happy, so I keep those. Still got some hippie clothes. So I keep a few of those things, and I'll throw away degrees. It's like, and I burn. This is a real thing. When I watch those shows, Hoarders, I get it. They don't do it right. A lot of what those people are attached to, and I see it a lot with people's clothes, it's not that you're being stingy and don't want to give them to Goodwill. There's certain things that you might have a memory or thing, you don't want them hanging somewhere in a Goodwill. You don't. There's plenty of stuff you can give away. I burn it. If there's stuff I don't know what to do with, I will start a fire. I'm not supposed to here, but fire pit. And I will just burn things. If you don't know what to do with some, I don't like the shredding because it's still somewhere in a dump. Burn it up. Burn it up. It's very freeing. I've done this my whole life. And then I ended up living in the country because my dad was a beekeeper, so we lived out in the country. But we always burn things, and so I think there's something. And so when I watch those shows and the people are going, "No, you can't have this," I feel like saying they need to have this big fire pit, this big drum. And I think they would feel good if they put it in. They wouldn't. I think a lot of the attachment's not knowing where, because it's a part of them. They don't know where it's going to go. So it's like losing a part of themselves, or like it gets them out of control. But they see it being transmuted right in front of them, and they're free from it. Yeah, it's a very real thing. It's a very, very powerful thing. If you have things that you do not know what to do with, it is a good idea to just burn them, just in a safe way. Yeah, in a safe way. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Yeah.
I was painting my house to get ready to sell it, and I kept thinking Montserrat Shirley, the lady that, and I don't know what I need to burn. I need to burn something.
You kept thinking what?
Montserrat Shirley, it was the name of the lady that, in the south, like Greenwood area.
Yeah, that was in, yeah. Montserrat, whatever her name is.
Her last name was Shirley.
Yeah, where it blew up, or the house
It was
blew.
in my head the whole
Wow.
time I was painting the wall,
Yeah.
and I don't know why it was there.
Ooh, think about what that would symbolize to you. We're coming up, that happened in November almost a year ago. I had a guy, that's weird, I had a guy in here today that rented a house in that neighborhood. He was between homes and he was renting, and he was in that blast. And it traumatized him, but he was such an evil person. And he knew it pierced something, it brought up a past life thing that he let go of. And when he moved, he didn't take any of it with him. But that's weird you brought that up, because today, and a man that was right in that neighborhood and experienced all that. And think about what she would symbolize. Well, what I would think of. And again, when you're painting is really interesting. It's like, again, it's you're refreshing your home and all that kind of stuff. In a way, she was a victim, or she keeps saying she didn't know, right? That she was not part of I would meditate on that and see what she represents to you. So you are going to sell the one house?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think you'll be able to let it go. I think I don't. Yeah, well, I know your ex, or he's still living there.
Yeah.
Do you think he's willing to sell it?
He's working on it.
Good.
He's moving forward to sell it.
Yeah, it will. I think the latest will be March. The earliest would be end of November, beginning of December. Yep. It'll be.
I have a question. I have lots of stuff going on. Right
I know.
But here's what I can say out loud.
Uh-oh. Okay.
When we were doing the meditation, I had the weirdest visual of I don't normally think about things like this, like a human parasite coming out of my head.
Ooh, interesting.
Like when you clapped, it scared me, and it went away, and it reminded me, Alexa, who's my daughter, had another night where she woke up around 2 or 3 and just didn't go back to sleep the rest of the night or the rest of the day.
Our children and animals are acting out all the energy shifting. Oh, yeah.
And what she told me her nightmare was about was that I walked into a house and there were all the beautiful things that I love, and then people took my blood. And
Ooh.
that same night I had
Whoa.
dreams.
Talking
that
about
I had
parasite.
thought about, that was about parasites attaching to my neck. So I completely forgotten about all that because we've had a lot going on, but that's
So you saw a huge parasite coming out of your head. Yeah, I've been visual. I go to Dr. Gaia and get peroxide drips, which will kill anything in your body. And the first time I had it done, I could feel things. It was like, I visualized like Pac-Man. I could feel stuff in my head. I could feel where it was going to kill things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm on my last treatment for parasitic infections, so what should be the
Interesting
last
theme.
treatment? Yeah, should be.
It's from the Lyme's disease, from what you were diagnosed with, right? Yeah.
Should be it.
What were they doing to treat it?
Homeopathic.
Good. No, you looked at, I mean, you've been on a big journey. So what I would say, that since you're on your last, and the visual was that you had the last of a huge parasite. So what we were doing tonight was gathering. See, we don't want the division of these cells. We don't want the division. We want to pull things out by the root. We want to gather them together. And so it's like that's very good, because that's exactly right. And to know that it is the last, and just know that came out. Yeah, that's awesome. Woo. So when she's,
First time in 4 years.
oh wow, yeah, there you go. How old is your daughter now? 4, 5, 5? So yeah, she's really evolved. She has this amazing dream. How did she know they took your blood? What did she see in the dream? All your things that you love were in a room. And she
focused more when she was telling me on the things that I loved, like a particular color of nail polish that was on the wall, and
wow,
sparkly. Like, she was very focused on the things that I loved that
Wow.
were in the room.
wow.
And then she said, and she was less specific about, and then they took your blood. And I think that's what woke her up.
It's about that taking of your joy, about she was seeing the things that are important to you, but somehow equating that with, that's an interesting one. I would ask her more about that dream, because I'm sure it was scary to her.
Well, she didn't go back to sleep the rest of the night.
Yeah, that's
She
interesting.
has dreams sometimes that are so powerful.
Oh, she's amazing.
Wow.
She's something else, let me tell you. She's really cool. She's like really, how's Honey?
She had a little bit of a relapse because I thought Dr. Arnold said she would be on Prozac for 3 to 6 months and then we take her off. I misunderstood. She's going to be on it for life. On it, she does well.
Prozac's not good for people, but it works very well on traumatized animals.
Yeah,
Just
There's an animal, or took a child on.
Exactly, right? Oh, we can work on some stuff, but
Honey was a
No. Honey's a dog. Honey's a dog.
Rescue.
I helped them go to the doctor and put their little their cat they had to sleep. And then they got
My
Honey.
daughter's first pet.
It was her first pet.
Didn't live to be a year old.
Yeah. But she was so adult. She held the kitty, and Dr. Arnold was so wonderful. Yeah. And then it came Honey. When we got to the top.
If there's not an example of like the energy you put out, you get. I mean, we were so anxious about it. We kept the most anxious dog in the world.
And right away, and I'm going.
I couldn't breathe before it.
I'm going, oh, wait a minute, right away, right within days, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, but it's interesting, no, and
And we
again,
got exactly what we put out there.
no. So a hunting dog, she's really cute, but she's very protective, and,
That has softened.
yeah, no, she won't,
That has softened.
it's so fun.
But the Prozac is critical for her.
So you took her off, and all of a sudden, there was like bad behavior came over,
She
yeah.
started barking at shadows.
Oh.
She even.
Well, she was just so
She picked
traumatized.
at me over food. Which
Yeah, she was I'll do more work with her, we can run more
You probably
energy.
could now.
Yeah.
You probably could. She would probably let
Oh,
you
yeah,
her.
oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, a lot of lessons. Anybody else? Yes, never a dull moment. No more dead animal, no more,
No more dead animals.
oh my
I know
God, she had
that.
these things happening with
I know
these,
exactly
the
what it was.
dove and the hawk crashed right into the
Worse than
wind.
my week.
No worse than your week. Oh my God, last week.
I had a dead dog shot in my backyard with a vulture on it. My dog
Oh,
was the one that found it.
Literally, she has a picture of it. And she'd seen this dog earlier, like a few weeks earlier, running around like
Running
a
around and
beautiful little pitty
we
mixed
was like
dog.
catching him and
and all of a sudden she's on her way here for something, and did you see it then, or did your daughter send a picture?
She called me and she said, Mommy, there's this thing in the backyard. She goes, I thought it was a big black
Oh
dog.
my
And she goes,
God.
it was a vulture.
I made myself look at the picture. I thought it was going to I mean, I have never seen this like in a horror movie or even in real life. Here is this dog's eyes looking at you, half dead, eaten apart dog with a vulture, but it has to do with, we were under psychic attack. We were going through some, we were working in some things, and saw this on the way, I mean,
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
that's
horrible.
way worse.
That's way worse.
I mean, that shocked me. And it takes a lot to shock me. That was shocking. That was
We
pretty,
found animals that get, hit in the road and things like that.
but this was
Her house.
plopped in her backyard.
Right in my backyard, and I have.
And her daughter's eyesight from her room, her 12-year-old daughter's looking down.
That's bizarre.
Who
Oh.
wants to be a vet, so she went out to see.
Which is good, and she's medical, so.
Yeah, she took a picture
background.
of it, and
I know, she's 12. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
yeah, I was,
You just told me you were just like.
yeah, that's pretty
That's
blatant.
like.
It was last Thursday.
I heard.
Yeah.
that was, and it was like a turkey vulture, or like
Yeah, it was a big.
those ones that are huge, we're not that little,
No, they're pitch black and they're,
right, and they have
body's
red,
like this big and their wingspan is.
they're
Then they
huge,
have the red.
red head, they're
red heads.
they're called turkey vultures, and you don't see them that often.
Heads, but
They are, and they are efficient predators.
There's hardly anything.
And then by the time she buried what was left, it was just the spine and a head. I mean,
Oh my gosh, you gotta get out of what you're doing there, sweetheart.
no, I know what it was. But it was, seriously,
People trying to stop us.
it's dark energy that was attacking, and it,
Oh my.
yeah, it was pretty severe. Yeah, it's been, in,
Yeah, it is.
but that's so funny that your daughter wants to be a vet. That's, she's, and then you've had a medical background too, so you can be very, I would be, I'd be like, that's that.
And she says, I'm taking the dog and.
Not really.
Yeah, and she's very, yeah.
And she's always, if there's anything, a little sore.
I love that though, and so, in a way, that's a positive side, is to, I know, yeah. To see that it's that death rebirth, Well, the Native Americans and even the Tibetans, people don't know this, but it's true. In some sects, they would, and they don't say this is a bad thing, instead of cremation, they put them on piers, they put them up and let the vultures come, and they consider it a high way of the body, like reincarnate, like
Oh.
being in a,
Recycle.
right, recycling. And it's not they don't see it, so it's a very, in a way, there's something. But that was the most, when she showed, I thought, okay, yeah, I get it. Then I went, what? What are you showing? And she wouldn't let Roger, she goes, don't look. You can't
It's a
look.
little too quick, and she's.
Well, and what was going on, she was on her way up here because we were working on a project. And I really thought the dark forces were saying, ooh, don't be involved with that, Marilene. You know what I'm saying? No, but it's like people, if they have a lower mind, you take signs like that, like, oh my God, yeah. No, and the way I look at some things like that too, it's like, again, it's that, what have I been talking about, the Petra, the dead, the dying. But in a way, and what she had happen was interesting too. Here's this beautiful dove, and here's this beautiful, oh, look at the dove and the hawk. Oh no, the hawk's killing, was killing the pigeon or the lovebird, or whatever. And they're like, in this big window with a robe, and they're like, yeah, very straight, so there's a lot of this thing, okay, is this bad, is this good? Do we, there's things about that, right? The cycle of life. And yeah, it very, because the lower mind always wants to attach something to these cycles, yeah. Anybody else? Interesting. I'm glad we got a live. This is a good story.
Healing show.
And animals are so interesting because they are very opposite sex oriented, most of them. It's about pheromones, and a lot of times male animals were like females and females like men. It is very interesting. I've seen it a lot.
That's okay, not so.
And she's a little girl,
Gracie.
little Gracie Lou,
Gracie.
Gracie, yeah.
She likes you.
Yes, she does. She says, I'm just gonna heal you up. Anybody else have anything they wanna ask or discuss, or? So again, let go, don't let things feed off of you. Don't offer yourself up as a sacrifice. We're not in the time of sacrifice. There's no need to have a blood sacrifice or any kind of sacrifice. It's time to, nothing has to die for you to live. What has to die are old ways of thinking, things that one of the archetypes that we all have also on the negative side is the saboteur. And it's a powerful one, how we sabotage ourselves, how we'll get to a certain point and then we just absolutely do ourselves in. And it's powerful. I've seen it in so many levels and ways in my own life and other people. So that's a really good thing to pray about and to let go and say, you know what? I do not want to sabotage myself or others ever again. And whatever this is, I'll let it go. Because it's a powerful negative archetype. It's a powerful, and another powerful one, and this is not I'm not saying this in a sexual way, but everybody has a prostitute archetype that's negative as well, that you will do anything to get something, or you will do, you don't ever get rid of the belief that you have to go along with somebody or something because they have something or they can do. That saboteur and these are very real archetypes that we all have. You don't have to give away parts of yourself. But we're so programmed to do that, to think we have to do something like that. And it's not like, I'm not talking about the sexuality, but I'm talking about people stay in jobs because they're afraid to, speak, you think you have to put on a face or you have to do a certain, no. You don't have to do anything that's icky and putrid. You want to get rid of that. So we will be here next Wednesday, and again, we're going into this beautiful full moon tonight, and we're going into let the full moon illuminate and heal and release, and we're going into the fall equinox, which is probably the 20th, 21st. Let that energy just be with you. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful night. It's wonderful. Enjoyed it very much. Nice energy here tonight. Really enjoyed it.